Let's say you were a friend. I would explain this to you in the way of this argument with this dumbass nigga, bro. I basically say, damn, this PS5 controller is just like an Xbox 360 controller, but with more modifications. And he rebuttals with some shit like, okay, well, a Nintendo Switch has a screen on it and shit, so it's like better. And I'm like, the Nintendo Switch is a whole console, and he's just like, well, look, bro, based off what you said, in actual context of what you think I said, the Nintendo Switch is the best one. It's number one. The PlayStation controller is number two because it has more modifications, and the Xbox 360 controller is just all down there. It's just shit. I'm like, and I'm like, bring it back. All I said was that all I did was give a comparison, just saying that this PlayStation 5 controller, it's like playing on an Xbox 360 controller. I didn't say which one was better. I didn't do any of that. How did the Nintendo Switch get into this? And then I have to go into the full story. We're fighting a Gravios, and he's getting knocked around. So am I. And he's just like, damn, stop being so mean to the Gravios, right? Because it's beating our ass. And so I make a joke. I'm like, dude, fighting a Gravios is like, dude, us fighting this Gravios is like, it's like a 6'3" guy. It's like we're 6'3" fighting like a 7 foot tall, or a 6'10" dude, or like a 7 foot taller, 7 footer, and it's just like, he's like, you think this thing is 6'10"? Because he misunderstood what I said, because he's stupid, right? And so I'm just like, I give more perspective. I say, based off what our hunters fight normally, right? A monster that's twice our height is literally light work. But when it's like 4 times our height, twice as big as that monster, it becomes a problem. Right? If you're 6'3" and you're fighting like a 6'4" nigga, it's like he's tough, right? But like if you're a tough 6'3" person, by the way, because that's what the hunters are. That's why I gave that scenario. If you're a tough 6'3" person, you're fighting like a 6'4" or a 6'5", you'd probably be like, okay, that's a tough fight, but you got that because you're tough. They're not. Now, even if you're a tough 6'3" dude, fighting a 7 footer that's crazy, right? That nigga got mad height on you. He's always gonna have the mass to fill it. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's like fighting a 6'7" guy, because the monster is like, its leg alone is like 4 times our height. So that's what the comparison is. This dumbass somehow comes to the conclusion of saying some shit like, oh yeah, but the only reason our hunter can fight stuff like that is because they're the main character. I call bullshit. I say because Olivia was able to fight the Uduna. And he was like, look, I knew you were going to say that. Let me finish. Because if she tries to fight a Fatalis, then her life is in the balance. Like, the Fatalis burns other hunters into its own body. And I'm just like, cool. That's not what I said. And he's just like, nah, because like based off what you said, the Fatalis is the 7 foot tall guy. And the verbatim out his own dumbass mouth. The Fatalis is the 7 footer, and the Gravios is the 6'3". So what that did, right? By saying the Fatalis is the 7 footer and that the Gravius is the 6'3", he's officially changed what I said meant. He's officially just changed the situation. He didn't even put the hunter in the 6'3" situation. He didn't even put the hunter in the 6'3" situation. He said that they're the thing below it. He said the hunter, like us, we're small as shit. Like we're nothing. It's just like, brother. It's just like, brother. You're not Uruguay, are you? And the Fatalis is huge. It would make the Gravios look like a little guy next to it, right? Like, its arm alone its arm alone is like more than half as big as the Gravios when you fight it, I think. Its tail, its, its tail could probably fit like two Gravioses on it. It's huge. It's a really big monster. But like that doesn't change what I said. Or technically, I guess it did, since he says so that because when I try and tell him, I'm like, nah, I'm not saying that. The Fatalis is not. I'm like, dude, us fighting the Fatalis is not a. It's not like a normal person fighting a 7 foot. It's not like a 6'3" person fighting a 7 foot tall dude. That's like trying to fight a like a 20 foot tall dude. That's like trying to fight a building. It's like trying to go fight a natural disaster. And he's just like, you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm like, no, nigga, I'm hearing what you're saying. You don't understand what you're saying, and you don't get what I said. And he's like, bro, you're being so annoying. So I go ahead and put it into perspective again. For y'all niggas, Fatalis is the black dragon, right? This thing went to war against the most advanced nation in the world and won. It literally burned that whole nation down in like a day, I think. And it's like the monster that hunts other monster hunters at that point, right? Not even. It's literally like they weren't completely sure of its existence. It exists only in record. Because it's just like, well, what else would have happened to that nation that got burned down suddenly in just one night? The Fatalis did it. It turned that nation to ash alone by itself in like one night. When a Fatalis pops up, that's pretty much the end. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like that doesn't make it. Like, you see, when you try and put that next to the Gravios, it's just like, well, that's not at all what my scenario is saying. You can't say that fighting a Fatalis, you can't say the Fatalis versus the Hunter is like fighting the 7 foot tall dude. Because I'm like, there are 6'3" people who can beat a 7 foot tall dude. Our Hunter, in a lone confrontation with a Fatalis, would have just died. Like, if you were to try and fight a Fatalis out here in this local, you would die. If you were to fight it in the ancient forest, if you were to fight it in the Coral Highlands, it doesn't matter where, you would just die. The only reason we were able to win and survive is because when it was charging up a huge flame attack, we were able to hide behind, so like this shield, like we were able to hide behind like this shield that was on the ground to survive the first onset of attacks. Anyone standing outside of that would have just died. So that means we cannot beat the Fatalis in a 1v1 unless we are protected. Then, its second fire attack, we had to hide behind the blast doors. After that was done, we just had to kill it because it finally exhausted itself trying to burn us down. So then we were able to kill it. With the help of other people canonically, because there are literally other hunters fighting with us the whole time. Like, there are other people who are fighting with us throughout the whole thing. So, yeah. So the real life situation of that would be more akin to like 2 or 3 5'5" people trying to fight a 6'5" sumo wrestler. World champion sumo wrestler, by the way. Yeah, those guys are fucked. But you want to know, in the situation they win, they fight the 6'5" sumo wrestler with knives. Then they win. Because the knives represent the blast shields and like the whole barriers that kept them alive, right? That kept the 5'5" midgets from getting absolutely slaughtered. with that similar to those bare hands. It kept them from getting pounded into the pavement. The blast doors kept us from being turned to ash. That'd be a more realistic scenario. So when I'm saying shit like that, he's just like, all right, bruh, you're doing the most, and just leaves. He says, now you're changing up what you said. I'm like, I ain't changed up shit I said. You never understood what I originally said to begin with. And now that I have explained what I said, you're saying that it's something different because you finally get it. You're getting what you didn't get before and saying that I'm changing it. Like, am I nuts? Dude, am I nuts? Like, that is not my fault. Yeah, so that's pretty much all it. That's pretty much it. Like, you change what I'm saying, and then you say that I'm changing what I'm saying when I'm explaining to you what I actually said and what I said meant. What the things I said meant. And then you want to say, "Oh no, you're changing it." I'm not changing shit. You just didn't get it. Now you get it, and you're saying, well, that's a whole different thing. No, nigga, that's what I originally said. And when I'm trying to tell him this, he's just like, bro, I'm not doing this shit. Bro. I'm not arguing with it. I'm done with this. I'm like, no, listen. So I'm like trying to get him to understand. I said, what I said was this. And what I meant by the end he leaves. I'm just like, alright. So I'm like, what I get from that is you're the type of person to be wrong about something. And then when somebody tries to tell you that you're wrong about it, you call them crazy. That's what that means. And I'm just like, at that point, then don't argue with me no more, bro.